Oh, sorry guys. Sorry. So today we are going to discuss a concept which is known as an OOPS. Okay, OOPS. So what is the meaning of OOPS? OOPS means oriented, object oriented programming system. Object oriented programming system. Okay. So this is the meaning of OOPS. So here we need to keep one thing in mind. Why this is important? See, as I told you, the Python is divided into three different levels. One is basic Python, one is intermediate Python, one is advanced Python. One is advanced Python. So basic Python means basic Python comes under like string, list, tuple, sets, dictionary, variables, data types. These kind of things like loops kind of things comes under basic Python. Intermediate Python means like list comprehension, dictionary comprehension. Shravani, if I think remaining guys, I'm audible, no? I'm audible, everyone?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Yes, sir.
Not audible. Okay. Okay. List comprehension, dictionary comprehension, functions, lambda function. Okay. File handling. This comes under intermediate Python. Advanced Python, exception handling, and oops. Guys, I'm telling you, without exception handling, yesterday I have showed you the real-time code also, which we are building in our company. Okay, exception handling and oops concept. Very, very, very important. Oops. Why oops means, see, guys, what is the, you can ask me, sir, what is the purpose of using oops? Guys, you tell me what is the purpose of using function? What is the purpose of using functions? Reusability, yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Reusability. So, what is the purpose of using something like oops means advanced level reusability. Advanced level reusability. Okay, advanced level reusability. Okay, so there are a lot of subtopics comes under like oops means object oriented programming system. But under this topic, there are a lot of concepts. One is class, second one is object. Okay, class, object. Next one, constructor. Next one, what is the purpose of using self? Next one, we can say inheritance. So till here, fine. I mean, lot of people will study something like polymorphism, encapsulation, abstraction. I don't recommend them because the people who belongs to web applications like the what is the meaning of web application which works with internet. So those people need to learn abstraction, encapsulation, public, private, protected concepts, polymorphism concepts. But for data related people, data science or data analyst, data scientist or analyst, where it might be, this is very important. Class, object, constructor, self and inheritance. These concepts are important, which I will be teaching you in a clear way, in a very clear way. So I will write I will write here, then we'll start. See, I will give you examples and you need to keep that examples in the mind. If you don't keep that examples in the mind, it is very tough. It's not so easy to understand this concept. But I will give you your day-to-day life examples and I will teach you this concept. Oops. Okay. What is the meaning of oops? Object oriented programming system. So object oriented programming system. So the topics that we need to learn in the OOPS is class. What is the meaning of class? What is the meaning of object? What is the meaning of self? Why we are using self? What is the meaning of university constructor, which is really important? Constructor, which is really important. I can give another star. Without constructor, there is no real time. Okay. Constructor, inheritance. Okay, inheritance. These are the concepts. So listen very, very carefully. If you're not understanding, immediately ask me. Why? Because see, anything you write, guys, see, if you see, if you something like, sir, we will go to the real time. Once get lot of students tell me this kind of answers, which is very stupid answers. Sir, I will learn in a normal way, like a string list, tuple things we will learn. But show me the job. Like first get me the job. Once getting the job, I will go inside and I will learn. There will be no one to tell you, no one to explain you. Okay, in the real time. So if we need to learn perfectly, then only we need to go inside. So in the project, you will learn the new things. These things you won't learn. Okay, so learn perfectly and not understanding means let me know. So let me tell you, first class will understand a detailed information about this class. We'll get a very detailed information about this particular class. So the meaning, what is the meaning of this class? Class is nothing but, see, generally in your day-to-day life, what is the meaning of a class? Classroom, yes or no?
Yes.
Normally a classroom. Okay, suppose imagine, what is the meaning of a classroom? Suppose imagine this is a classroom. Any class like CSC class or mechanical, civil, ECE, BTech, anything. Suppose CSC. Okay, it's a CSC classroom. Now you tell me, in the classroom who will be there? Students. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Who will be there? Students will be there. Okay, students will be there. Some students will. So now simple. See, what is the lot of people will ask, like, what is the meaning of a class? Class is nothing but, see, in a class, students will be there generally. So treat every student like a function, okay, or a variable, or a variable. Okay. So normally classroom means students will be there. Students will be there. Imagine each student is a function. For example, guys, in a CSC classroom, 60 students are there. Do 60 students will get same marks?
No, sir.
Is it? No. Every person will get his own marks. Yes or no? Every person will get his own marks.
Yes.
So, I mean, now you tell me, every student is unique or not here?
Yes.
So here also, in a class, 60 students are there, which means 60 different kind of mindset. So in the Python also, class means nothing but a collection of functions and variables. So for example, if 60 students means, imagine 60 functions where each function will be doing one task, where each function will be doing one specific task. Okay, you can ask me, sir, already we learned now. See, you learned function. Function, you are calling this function again and again and again. Now what I am doing? I am writing 100 functions under one name. Under one name. If I use this name, I can use this 100 functions again and again and again. Yes or no? Instead of using individually.
Yes, sir.
So what is the purpose of class? Class is nothing but, so generally class means students. So here class means nothing but collection of
Functions and
functions.
variables.
Yes, it's collection of functions and variables. Collection of functions and variables. So see, guys, for example, I will tell you a lot of theoretical part is there to learn. Okay, this is a class. This is a class. Okay, this is a class. So for the class, in a classroom, there is a student. There is a student. In a classroom, there is a student. So, and every college, you know, you will be having the principal room. Yes or no? Every college, you will be having the principal room. So principal is going to sit inside the room on the chair, and his laptop or whatever it might be, he will keep in front of him. And there will be one person who is known as a, what do you say? PA, I think. Okay. PA for that particular principal. PA for that particular principal. He will stand outside the office room. So my question for you is, if this principal, listen very carefully, if this principal, if he want to call the students, if he want to call this particular student, if you want to call the students, so will he directly go and call, or he will inform the PA to call that particular person?
Inform the PA.
Yes, mostly 99 percentage. He will inform the PA. He will inform the PA. So the PA will be going to the person and he will call the person, and the person will come to the onto the principal room. Yes or no? This is
Yes.
what the story. This is what the story is happening in the college. So here the point is, here my point is, he is principal, he is PA, he is a student. So this is a class CSC. Same concept we need to implement with Python. I told you, every student means either function or a variable. Either function or a variable. Okay, what is the meaning of PA? PA, see guys, imagine mostly in the top level colleges, tier 1 colleges, every class will be having its own PA. I mean servant. For example, there will be four PAs for the principal. So PA1, PA2, PA3, and PA4. Four PAs. Four PAs are there. So this person is allocated for the CSC department. This person is allocated for the ECE department. This he is allocated for the mechanical, and he is allocated for the civil. Okay, he is allocated for the civil. So every department one PA. Okay, every department one PA. Now in this all this scenario, who is the principal? Who is the principal? You are the principal. I am the principal because I am writing the code. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
I am writing the code, so I am the principal here. So same concept I will be implementing in front of you. First, classroom. I need a classroom. So first classroom. Okay. What was the name of the classroom?
CSC.
Classroom is CSC. Okay. See, class CSC. Okay. I am going to create a class, and the class name is CSC. Class name is CSC. Do the students are outside the class or inside the class? Do the students are outside the class or inside the class? So we should go inside, no? To column, go inside. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
A is equals to 100. I am writing. I told you, treat variable or function as a student. Yes or no? So I am creating a class CSC, and there is a student, and the student name is A is equals to 100. Guys, understood? Till here understood, no?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So here for the CSC class, there should be one, I mean, for the CSC department, there should be one servant. There should be one servant. Okay. There should be one servant. So this servant is outside the class or inside the class? Guys, tell me.
Outside the class.
He is outside the class. See, class creation is completed. I created the class. There is a students inside the class. Completed. Now, whom I need to prepare? I need to create servant. Yes or no? I need to create a servant for the class. So who is the, you can ask me what is the meaning of servant here? Servant means you can think like PA anything, but in Python, we call them object. What is the meaning of object? Object is nothing but instance of a class. In a simple way, if I want to say for better understanding, PA. Okay, like just imagine like PA. Example PA.
Sir,
Yes.
you mentioned like a clerk, sir. Clerk. PA instead of PA, you mentioned as a clerk.
Whatever it might be.
That is easy to understand for the graph. That means diagram. Principal and student.
Okay. Whatever it might be. Okay. So here there is a servant. So, but we officially in Python, we need to call them as object. We need to call them as object. If anybody asks you what is the meaning of object, instance of a class, the PA for the class, as somebody is like clerk for the class, the servant for the class. Okay. So now see, I created a classroom. Okay. I created a classroom, and okay, classroom name is CSC. There is a students inside the classroom, which is A is equals to 100. So come back outside. Now all the operation I'm doing outside. Class is completed. Outside. You can ask me, sir, how we can understand inside or outside. If you write the lines straightly, it will be outside. If you write anything inside the class, it will be inside. Simple. So now see, I'm going to create a servant whose name is Kiran, for that particular class CSC. So see, for this particular class, I'm going to create a servant, and the servant name is Kiran. See, for this particular class, I'm creating a servant whose name is Kiran. Simple. Guys, object created or not? Here, object created. Okay, object created. For the class, I'm creating a servant. Okay. Now, guys, who is the principal? Who is the principal here? I am the principal, yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Because I am writing the code, so I will be the principal. So as a principal, if I give a order to the Kiran, who is my PA, so he will go to the class. Inside the class, he will call the student, and student will come back to me or not. Tell me.
Yes, sir.
So see, I created a servant. After that, print, because I need to print in front of you. Sorry. So I'm informing. See, I'm the principal. Hey Kiran, please go and call the person. Hey Kiran, please go and call the person A. Dot A. Kiran means the object. I am telling this particular PA to call. Dot A means Kiran, go and call the student A, which means the variable A. So Kiran calling variable A. Simple. So if we go and call, he will come back to the office room. See, if I run it, guys, can you see? He's coming to the office room or not? Output is getting or not?
Yes, sir.
This is what OOPS concept. Simple. Yes.
Sir, CSC is the class name. Yes, sir.
Hmm.
And in the sixth line, you have written Kiran is equal to CSC. Like, but where you have written CSC like function opening and braces like that. CSC.
I will tell you in upcoming in few minutes why we are writing this parenthesis. I will tell you. Don't worry. Okay. So for this concept, constructor concept, we need to write. Okay, I will tell you. Don't worry about it. So this is the class name and object. The servant. The servant is calling the variable. It is responding or not, guys? Tell me.
Yes, sir.
So did you understand this logic? This classroom, this this PA principal concept. If you understand this concept, OOPS completed. Very easy.
Yes, sir.
So here, let me tell you one more example. Okay, this functions, all the things I will tell you, don't worry. See, there is one more point. Imagine class, I want to create CSC. I want to create a class CSC. Now see, if you write CSC, okay, like B is equals to 2000. Okay. Let's say Kumar is equals to CSC. Print Kumar. So can anyone explain me what I am doing here? Print Kiran means also output 100. No, sir. Huh? Kiran means output 100. How output 100? Kiran is a servant. He don't know anything. He is just a mediator, na?
Yes, sir.
Yes or no? So Kumar dot B. Okay. So there is one more question. See, very simple logic. Yes, Ravani is asking that print Kiran means also output 100. No, sir. Why it will be 100? That's my question. So my point here is, for the class you are creating a servant. If you print that particular servant, so I mean, servant means what? Some memory will be allocated, no? That memory. It doesn't mean it doesn't mean anything calling. It's so somebody is also can we print directly B instead of doing like this? If I run it, it will throw error. It is inside the class, local variable or global variable. It is inside some other concept. It is not outside. It's a local. How can you use it outside? Okay. So we will be creating the servant. Servant will go and servant will call. We will not call because that particular servant. Guys, understood? YouTube mic, so don't know. Okay, simple concept. Here, if you go to the documentation, so here if you go to the documentation of PIP8, so here there will be some, this is the guidelines that we need to, if you work in the real time, your manager will accept your code if it follows these guidelines only. If it won't follow these guidelines, it is not going to accept. They will not allow the code to the production. So there will be one rule that we need to maintain. Class name. See, study here, class name should normally use the capital words. So according to the guidelines, you can use small letters also, but according to the guidelines, what they are telling, we need to use the class name in a capital letter. So keep that in mind. Class name should be capital according to the guidelines. If you don't write also, no problem, but according to the guidelines. Okay. So another way. Okay, see, my point here is, imagine servant is absent to the college on that day. So can the principal directly call the student? He will come or not to the office room?
Yes, sir.
If the servant absent on that particular day, this is also possible or not? See,
Yes, sir.
class CSC, suppose A is equals to 100. Okay, there is a classroom. Inside a classroom, there is a student. Outside, I am the principal. So I am the principal, no? I am the principal. So if I want to call this student directly as a principal, there is no PA today. He is absent. So if I want to call this particular person, you can call him directly. So, but using the class name, you can call him. So in a simple way, if the PA is present means we will use the PA. If the PA is not present means we will use the class name. So print CSC.A. So imagine I am the principal. Imagine if I have a mic in my hand, I am sitting in my office room. There is no servant. So my PA is absent today. My PA is absent to the college today. So I am sitting in my office room. I want to call one of the person in the CSC department. So what I will do, I will take a mic and I will shout in the CSC department, call this particular person. I will call his name. He will come or not? See?
Yes.
So with class name only we can call. This is also possible, but every time we need to use the object, it will be the best way. Why it will be the best way, I will tell you. Don't worry in that. Guys, understand the basic concept, understood, no? The basic concept. So here there are few more things. For example, imagine this is the first day for the college. Imagine, guys, if you're not understanding means ask me. Okay, very, very important concept. Okay, there is another example. Imagine, okay, If there is a we can create the class, we can create the students, I mean servant, calling. These things are common. For example, find area of the rectangle. Find area of the rectangle. Guys, what is the meaning of area of the rectangle? Length into breadth, yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Length into breadth. Basically the mathematical formula, length into breadth, using classes and objects. So they will ask you, using classes and objects, please do length into breadth. Very simple, very simple. Create a class. Create a class. Okay. So I will be creating the class. Give some name for the class. I will give the class name is mechanical. Suppose. So there is a class name and whose name is mechanical. Whose name is class name mechanical. Simple class name mechanical. Okay, class name mechanical. So class name mechanical. The point here is, let's say, imagine. So in this mechanical class, imagine there are two different students. One of the name is length, another name is breadth. Length is equals to 100. Breadth is equals to 200. Okay. Length 100 and breadth 200. Okay. Simple. Okay. Now I will create a servant. And the servant name is Kiran, for example. And the servant name is outside the class. Servant name is Kiran. So, creating the object. So I am the principal. So now tell me what I will tell. I will inform this particular object. What I will inform? Hey object, please go inside the class and please multiply them. Can I tell like that, guys? Yes or no? Please multiply them.
Yes, sir.
Yes, because I am the principal. It's my wish. I can't do anything. He is my PA. He will do anything what I say. See, print in front of you. Hey Kiran, go inside the class. See, I am informing. Kiran, go inside the class. Take length. Kiran dot length means what? Object is picking up length, which means what? 100 only, no?
100.
Kiran is picking up length, which means 100. Into Kiran is picking up breadth, which means 200. Kiran dot length. Kiran is calling length, which means 100. Kiran is calling breadth, which means 200. 100 into 200, how much? See, 20,000. See, area, length into breadth is happening or not?
Yes, sir.
Simple. This is one of the logic. This is one more logic. In place of Kiran, we can take mech. Here, class name and the object name you want to take same. You can take same, but it's not a proper way. You can take, that's not an issue. But if you write the multiple lines, the objects will override, like the memory addresses will be override and it will collapse your code. So maintain class name and it's this particular class object name in a different way. Now imagine they are two different classes. Imagine there are two different classes. This is one of the class. This is one of the class. Okay, one class and one class. And imagine the first one name. And the first one name is CSE and the second one name is mechanical. So imagine in the first one there are two students. One student. There is a student whose name is A, whose value is 200. And here there is a student whose name is B, whose value is 400. Okay, so create the same logic. So class CSC. Okay, guys, in the CSC class, what was the student? A is equals to 100. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Okay, one class completed. One class completed. Next class. See, one class name inside the class writing completed. Class completed. Class completed. Next class name is what? Mechanical. Mechan is 400. B is equals to
400.
B is equals to 400. Okay. Two classes completed. First class, second class is completed. Fine. Okay, don't worry. So it's just pressed. No problem with that error. It is temporary error. Okay. Now tell me, I am the principal now. I am the principal now. So do one object is sufficient for me to call this particular student and this particular student? Do one servant is enough for me?
Yes, sir.
Practically in a real life it is okay. But in Python, and I mean I'm comparing with the real time, whatever you know. But see, every classroom will be having only one servant. Keep this in mind. Keep this in mind. Every classroom has its own servant. Okay. So principal will be communicating with this particular servant for this particular class. Principal will be communicating with this particular servant for this particular class. Every class has its own servant. Suppose if his name is Kumar and suppose if this name is Kiran. Okay, every class has its own object. For example, see, for example, for the CSC class, who is the object? Kumar. Yes or no? Okay, for the CSC class, he is the object. So Kiran is object for which class, guys? Mechanical. Okay, so Kiran is object for the mechanical and Kumar is object for the class. Now see, as a principal, I can inform. See, you can ask me, can, see, very simple logic. As a principal, if I inform this particular Kiran, okay, as a principal, if I inform, let me remove this, then it will be much more easy to understand. Okay, as a principal, if I inform this particular person, as a principal, if I inform the Kiran to call this particular A, what happens? Principal, whatever principal is saying, the PA should do, no? See, I am informing the Kiran. Hey Kiran, please go and call A. Please go and call A. It will work because A is already initialized previously. For example, if I write, let's say E, the variable E and the variable F. So here also I will change the variable names. Let me change the variable names. Then it will be much more good. Here it is class CSCE and it is F. Okay, keep it aside. Okay, so class CSC, one variable, class mechan, one variable. So for the mechanical class, I am creating Kiran. For the CSC class, I am creating an object Kumar. So I am, as a principal, I am informing the Kiran to go and call this E. To go and call this E. If I run it, what happens? Mechanical object has no attribute E. So is it working or it is throwing error? It is throwing error.
Throwing error.
Throwing error. Okay, let's do one more thing. So as a principal, I will inform the Kumar to call this particular variable. I will inform the Kumar to call the variable F. It will also throw error. Why? Can anyone tell me why? As I told you,
Because
every,
the servant not related to that class.
yes, as I mentioned, so every class will be having one particular object. Okay, every class will be having one object. Okay, so this Kumar belongs to CSC class only. Fixed. This Kumar belongs to CSC class only. Kiran belongs to mechanical class only. So you can't use the Kiran for the CSE. You can't use the Kumar for the mechanical. It's impossible. Keep that in mind. Okay. So if the principal want to communicate, or if you want to call F, means he need to communicate with Kiran only. So see, using the Kiran, hey Kiran, please call F. It will work. It will work. So using if as a principal, if I communicate with the Kumar to call E, see, hey Kumar, please call E. It will work. It will work. 200. It will work. So every class has its own objects. Objects, and we need to use those objects for that particular class only. You can't use for some other classes.
Sir, in the place of Kumar, we can mention CSC, comma, Mech means it will work, no?
In the place of Kumar,
Kumar equals to CSC, comma, Mech. For both classes,
no. I got it. What you are saying is
In
two
the class.
classes.
in the
Two
class.
classes.
Mm.
Yes, I got it. Two classes, one object you want to create.
Hmm.
No.
Why, sir?
See, what I'm saying is, the point here is, let's say, comma, it might create or don't create, doesn't matter. So you need to think about object, memory object. Like, so for example, if A is saving in the memory, some address will be created for the memory. In the initial stages, I told you. So if you duplicate the address, how can you use the reusability? For example, let's say mechanical. For example, let's say mechanical. Okay, let me remove all this thing. So for the mechanical class and for the CSC class, you want to create only one particular object. If I run it, now my point here is Kumar is object for both the classes. Okay. So if you do any operation in this particular class using this particular object, will it affect the mechanical class or not?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
I think, do you remember copy concept? Dot copy, shallow copy and deep copy and shallow copy. Okay. So why we should not use? There is a reason. So this object belongs to both the classes. Every class has their own way of usage. So if you do any changes, in the CSC class using this object, definitely it will affect the mechanical class. Both the classes, the object is same. So this is not a proper way. And also, if we do like this, we can't call the constructors. Constructor will be called for every class only one time. So if we pass multiple classes like this, multiple constructors we can't create inside the class. So this is not at all recommended way. Okay. So for every class, create an object. Every class, you should have their own servant. Clear, no? The one who asked me. So,
Okay.
Okay, done. So these are the base level. Like you understood the concept first, the relation between the class and object. Understood? Class
Yes.
and object.
Yes, sir.
So one more point, I just want to tell you. With that, we can go with the next one. See, let's say, imagine there is a classroom. Which is empty. Okay. Imagine the classroom. The name is CSC. The name of the class is CSC. So you can ask me like what names we can give for the class name. You give whatever you want, just to follow the rules of the variable. If you want to, if you can give any name for the function, you can give any name for the class, just to follow the rules of the variable. There should be no two different words, should not start with a number. Those things you need to follow, simple. So there is nothing inside the class. It is empty. So see class CSC, sorry, capital CSC, inside empty. I already told you yesterday, guys, if you want to, you created a class CSC, I want to mention that it is empty. How it is possible? How it is possible? Just type pass. Simple, pass. So what is the meaning of pass? As the user is creating the class CSC, and pass means he is not writing anything. Leave it. If you don't write the pass means it will throw error. At least you need to inform. Yes, I created a class, but it is empty. Leave it empty. Okay, classroom is empty. My question for you is, if there is any person who is the first day to join in the college, see, when I go to first day to the college, there will be one person, the PA or anyone, to take me to the particular classroom and to give some rule number or section A section or B section, something. Some person will be there or not. Directly you will go and you will sit in the classroom. How do you
No.
know which floor, which thing? There will be some person for the first day. So imagine there is a classroom which is empty, or if there is some students, doesn't matter. So is there any possibility that PA takes the students and keep it in the class? Can PA take the student and place in the class? Is it possible?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Yes, of course it is possible. Imagine there are already students. Imagine there is 2 students in the class, or there is no students. The timing is just 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock for the first day in the college. For the first day in the college, nobody is there in the classroom. So I go to the college. So there is a Kiran is the servant for this particular classroom. Okay, Kiran is the servant for this particular classroom. Okay, his name is Kiran. He is a servant for this particular classroom. Okay, now what principal is doing? Now what principal is doing? So principal is informing this particular Kiran to take me. Principal is informing this particular Kiran to take the student and place in the class, which means like something like A equal to 10. Okay, principal is informing the student to take the student into the class and sit in the class, which means creating a variable. See, so as a principal, hey Kiran, please take this value A equal to 10. So instead of, you should not print because you are taking to the class. Okay, hey Kiran, please take this person who is A to the class. See, sir, why you are writing? See, I created a class which is empty, and he is the servant. As a principal, I am informing, hey Kiran, please take this variable and place it in the class. So what this line will do? Kiran will take variable A and place in the class. He will place in the class. So now class has been filled with one student or not, guys? See, with one variable or not?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now in the next line, print. Hey Kiran, again call that particular student. Now what will be my output here? What will be my output? Calling. Yes, calling variable A. So see, first class is empty and he is the servant. So the principal informed the Kiran to take the student and place inside the class, which means take the variable and place inside the class. Okay, so completed. Next, after some time, and the principal, I am the principal, I am calling the Kiran. Hey Kiran, place that particular student, call that particular student. So will he come to my office room or not?
Yes, sir.
Will he come to my office room? Simple. This will work. These things also you can do. See, these things also you can do. So if the class is empty, see, simple logic is, if there is a data inside the class, object has all the rights. So he can't do anything with the class. Because he is the servant for the class, he can do anything. So if the class is empty also, using this particular object, we can add the data. we can add the data. This is the basic information about class and objects. So if you don't understand this relation, lot of students, like 99% of the students, will fail in the class and objects interviews. They
Excuse me, sir.
even don't. Yes.
Sir, when we create an object of the class, like in the eighth line, Kiran is equal to mechanical, object of the class and mechanical
Mhm.
in the eighth line.
Mm.
So it should be the written the outside the class or within the class.
Outside the
Kiran is
class.
equal to,
Outside.
when we create the object, it should be outside out of the class. Yeah.
Yes. Servant will be outside only. No, how he will be inside the class?
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. Guys, clear now? Simple. Okay.
Yes.
Now I want to tell you. Now I want to tell you about concept constructor. Most important constructor. Okay. Constructor. What is the meaning of a constructor? One minute. They are just one. Sorry, I got a call. So, constructor. See, one of the most important concept is constructor. Constructor will be called when you create a object. When you create an object for the class. When you create a object for the class. So I will tell you what is the meaning of constructor, all the things. Constructor will be called when you create a object for the class. When you create a object for the class. So if you go in depth about constructor, like the constructor name and the class name, internally their memory spaces will be same. It's a huge concept. Okay, don't go too much depth in memory point of view. So constructor means like it will be called when you create an object for the class. Okay. So the point here is constructors are two different types. There are two different types. There are two different types. What are there? The point number one. Point number one is parameter constructor and non-parameter constructor. Constructors are two types: parameter constructor and non-parameter constructor. Now you need to understand very clearly here. You just need to understand very clearly. So guys, when you create the class, if you initialize the constructor, when you are creating the class, for example, I created a class. If you create a class, this is the class, and the class name is suppose CSC. So see, normally if you create the class objects, calling the objects, variables, functions, common. It's a common story. It's a common routine story. So when you create the class, my point here is when you create the class, if you create a constructor, if you create a constructor inside the class, see, if you create a constructor, so somewhere here I'm creating a constructor. Inside the class I'm creating a constructor. So see, first class CSC, class CSC. So inside the class, if you don't create the constructor, leave it. Just functions, variables, we will call them and we will use them. We will call them and we will use them. So here my point is, but in the class the user want to create the constructor. How you will write the constructor? Constructor will be defined with the help of underscore init underscore. So constructor is the person, it is like a very much close friend to the class, which means CSC. So see, he can really see, he have this constructor will be having the direct access to the class. So okay, leave it. I will tell you. I created a class. So inside the class, I created a class. Inside the class, I am creating a constructor. Def underscore init underscore self print I am calling. See, I will explain it. Don't worry about it. Okay, see, I created a class CSC. Okay, so this is the meaning of constructor. Whatever the thing that I highlighted, underscore init means the constructor. So inside the class CSC, the user is creating the constructor. Okay, he created the constructor. And so inside the constructor, what I have done? Inside the constructor, what I am doing? Inside the constructor, I am just doing a print condition. I am writing some print condition. Okay. You can ask me what is the purpose of this self. I will tell you. Don't worry about it. Okay, class. I have written a constructor. Inside the constructor, I created a print condition like I am calling outside. Come outside. So I'm going to create a servant. His name is Kiran. I'm going to create a servant. His name is Kiran. So Kiran is equals to CSC. I'm creating a servant. See, the point here is whenever you are creating a object for the class. So here, when you are creating a object for the class, when you're creating a servant for the class, constructor calls. I'm telling you, most important point, most interview point question. So there is a classroom. Okay, in the class you created a constructor. Constructor will be denoted with init. I will tell you about this self. Don't worry about this self. Okay, inside the constructor, what I have done? I am writing some print condition. So outside the class, for this particular classroom, whenever I am creating an object, total 3 things will be happened in this line. One is, for this particular class, I am creating an object. Okay, for this particular class, I am creating an object. Point number one, for the class, I am creating an object. Second point is, here itself the constructor calls. Okay, nobody is calling. Servant is not calling the constructor. I'm telling you, servant is not calling the constructor. Servant is creating at the same time. the constructor will be called. Whenever object is creating, there itself the constructor call. So when you're calling the constructor means what happens? When you're calling the constructor, it will go inside and print whatever you have written. Print whatever you have written. And also the third one is not only creating the object, not only creating the object and not only calling the constructor, but also this object is there. For example, Kiran is here. This object copy will be saved in the keyword self. Keyword self. Now, what is the meaning of self? Self is nothing but Kiran. Self means nothing but object only, servant only. Copy, object copy will be saved. So, how much work is going on here? How much work is going on in a single line? If you write the constructor, if you create a constructor in the class, in this line, first you are creating an object, which means Kiran, and that Kiran object reference, object copy will be given to self, which means C in the constructor. So self will be here, which means what is, who is self? Self is nothing but Kiran only. Object copy, and the constructor will be called so that it will respond. So that it will respond. You can ask me why, sir, why all these stories? We can do wonders. See, if I run it, I am calling. You can ask me, sir, how it is coming. I told you in this line, object is creating, object copy will be given to self, and also you are calling the constructor. If you are calling the constructor, it will go inside. Inside, I am calling. You can say here it is a non-parameter constructor, basically non-parameter constructor, because you are not passing anything inside the parentheses. You are not passing anything inside the parentheses. You are not
Excuse me,
passing anything. Yes.
instead of self, if you write Kiran in that place, instead of self,
You can
definitely
write. You can write Kiran. You can write A. You can write B. Anything you can write. You can write anything, because the object copy from here will be given to the keyword self. I mean, will be given here. Here you can accept with any variable. It's your wish.
okay.
Okay. So then why you are using the self means lot of any blog you see in any everywhere you see, most of the people will be using self variable only. That's why I'm using. You can keep anything here, doesn't matter. Any variable. Okay. So what is the use of this? What is the use? What is the use of this constructor? See, lot of uses are there. So see, this is a non-parameter constructor because I'm not passing anything. Constructor calls it is a non-parameter constructor. Non-parameter constructor, which means I am not passing anything here. I am not passing anything here. Simple. See, now I will tell you. Now I will tell you the power of constructor. The power of constructor I will tell you. See, imagine there is a class. Imagine there is a class. There is a class whose name is CSC or mechanical, whatever it might be, whose name is CSC. Okay. And okay. Class CSC. Okay. Class CSC. Okay. Next. I want to create a constructor. I want to create a constructor. This constructor is there, no? So I want to create a constructor in the class. If you want to create only, you can create. Otherwise, no need. So I want to create a constructor. I want to create a constructor. Okay. So, okay, I'm creating a constructor, fine. I'm creating a constructor, fine. Okay. I'm going to create a constructor. So, okay. I'm not going to do anything in the constructor, come back. I'm not going to do anything in the constructor, come back. I'm going to create a servant who is Kiran. Who is Kiran? So I'm going to create a servant. I'm going to create a servant whose name is Kiran. Guys, you tell me what things will be happened here. What are the things when this line is running? First object will be created, which means object is created. This object copy will be given to this particular variable which is inside the constructor. So self will be here. What is the meaning of self? What is the meaning of self? Self is nothing but Kiran only. Okay. So the constructor will be also called in, yes or no?
Yes,
The
sir.
constructor is also calling. So whenever the constructor is calling, see the logic here. I will write like this. See how beautiful the constructor is. See, self dot A is equals to 10. Self dot B is equals to 20. Print self dot A into self dot B. Can anyone see what happens? See, I will explain you. Class is there, CSC. Okay. There is a constructor. Okay. Constructor is there. Remove it. Remove these things in the mind. See, focus on this line. First object is created. Okay, done. Object copy is going to save in the self. And what is the meaning of self? Self is nothing but Kiran only. Am I right?
Yes, sir.
Self is nothing but Kiran only. Okay. And in the same way, constructor is also calling. Am I right?
Yes, sir.
I have shown in the first example, in the before example. In this line only constructor is calling. That's why going inside and I am calling something is coming. No? Okay, this is calling. So when it is calling, it will go inside. Am I right? It will go inside. Inside what you are doing? Self dot A. What is self? Kiran only, no?
Yes, sir.
Kiran only, no?
Yes, sir.
Self dot A. Kiran dot A means Kiran is creating a object. Kiran is creating a variable A equal to 10. Yes or no? A equal to 10. Am I right? So in the
Yes.
previous example, in one of the example I told you. So the object is having all the rights to create the variable for the class. Yes or no? Self dot A equal to 10. So self means Kiran. Kiran is creating the variable A and giving 10 to it. See? Self dot B. What is the meaning of it? B equal to 20. Self, which means Kiran is creating a variable B, 20. Next line. Self dot A. What is self dot A means what? 10. 10 into self dot B means what? 20. 10 into 20 is how much? 200.
200.
If I run it, see? 200. This is how your interview questions will be. They will clearly ask line by line. What is the meaning of self? Self is nothing but a Kiran.
Excuse me.
If you see, yes.
This means a constructor is creating the objects or object is creating the variables, sir. Constructors. This means self dot A is equal to 10, self dot B is equal to 20. This is constructor is creating this or Kiran is creating this.
Constructor is a technique which is a part of a class, but here which is creating by the object only. Self means object. Object only creating.
Okay.
Excuse me,
Okay.
sir.
Yes.
Why we use constructor? We
Look, I
can
will tell
also
you
use object class.
I will tell you, don't worry. I will maintain the connectivity. Okay. So see here I told you. So using the object we can create the function. We can create few things like we can create the variables. So in the same way we are creating here. Why we are using the constructor, I will tell you, don't worry. So now tell me, this is a parameter constructor or non-parameter constructor?
Non-parameter constructor.
Non-parameter constructor.
Non-parameter constructor. Same thing I will copy. I will paste it here. I will take 10 comma 20. I will pass 10 comma 20. See, same story, class is there, constructor is there. See, whenever the object is creating, the constructor calls and object copy will be saved in the self, you know very well. So whenever the constructor is calling, you are sending two parameters, yes or no?
Yes, sir.
You are sending two parameters. So you should accept or not here.
Yes,
I
sir.
will accept with A comma B or anything, any variable you can use. So now tell me what is A generally? What is A? A means 10. B means what? 20. So there is a classroom which is CSC. In the CSC, there is a constructor. In the constructor, I have only self. I have self, and you are passing 10 to A. So for the constructor, A 10 you are passing, and B 20 you are passing. So whatever you are passing, it is inside the constructor. They didn't came to class. Yes or no? They are only inside the constructor.
Yes, sir.
They are aside. They are at the right side corner only. Okay. So now inside, if you see, can I write like this, guys? Can I write like this? Lot of people will confuse what is the meaning of it. See, focus on the right side. What is right side here? A. What is A? Guys, what
10.
is A? 10. So 10 equal to 10 you are giving to which one? Self dot A. Object is creating a variable or not?
Yes, sir.
Okay. See here, what is B? B means 20. Because when you are calling the constructor, you are sending 20. 20 is saving in the B. B means 20. 20. But 20 you are giving to self dot B. Object is creating a variable here. You can ask me, sir, self dot B means 20. No. See, self is there here. Self means object. Object dot B means what? Left side. Left side means creating the variable. I told you 100 times. Right side operations will be given to left side. B means 20. 20 you are giving to self dot B. Object is creating the variable B and 20. Okay. In the next line, print self dot A. What is self dot A? Object dot A means what? 10 only, no? 10
Yes,
into
sir.
20 is nothing but 30. Same story.
Excuse me, sir.
Sorry. 10 into
You are
20, 200.
not adding.
Okay. Multiplication. Okay.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes.
Please repeat ye third and fourth line. Self dot A. If we have given the value by the parameterized, then I need to give self dot A is equal to A. Because A is getting the value 10, B is getting the 10, 20.
Who is getting?
CSC 10, 20. 10 is going to
CAC is the class name. Point number 1. CAC is the class name. For this class name, I am creating a servant who is Kiran.
yes,
Who
sir.
is Kiran? Okay. When the object is creating, this object copy will be given to the constructor. If you maintain the constructor, object copy will be given to the constructor. Constructor is on. It is inside the class only, but on the bottom right side. Okay. Point number 1. Next, whenever, sorry. Okay. So whenever the object is creating, the constructor calls. So 10 you are giving to A, yes or no? 10 you are giving to A. Am I right? So
Yes, sir.
in the constructor, A is equals to 10. 20 you are giving to what? B.
B.
Okay, B equal to 20. Now my question is, they are inside the class or they are inside the constructor?
Inside the constructor.
Yeah.
They are inside the
Constructor.
They are inside the constructor. Constructor is inside the class, yes or no?
Yes,
Yes.
sir.
Okay, so now, okay, when we are calling the constructor, 10 we are giving to A, 20 we are giving to B, fine. This 2 colon is taking you inside. I mean, when you're calling it, so obviously they will go inside. Inside these 2 points, very simple logic. See, very simple logic. I already told you right side operation, focus on the right side. See, first line, self dot A, see, self dot A equal to A. Now my question is, what is A? What is A generally?
10.
A, because see, A 10, I mean, A means 10. A is holding 10. Okay, 10, okay, fine. See, but here the point here is you need to understand if you want to go in depth about it. See, focus in a straight way instead of focusing right side kind of thing. Self dot A equal to A. What is self here? See, in the constructor, you know, in the constructor, yes or no? I'm inside the constructor. What is the meaning of self? Self means what, Kiran?
Self containing the copy of the key.
Object copy, object, nothing but object only. Self means what? Object. So self dot A, object is creating a variable, yes or no? Object is creating a variable. So what constructor is doing? Constructor is creating a variable in the class. Self dot A, self is creating a object in the class equal to Right side, what is A? A means what?
10.
10. Yes or no?
Okay.
So A means what? 10. In a different way, if I want to say 20, you are giving to B. So self dot B equal to B you are writing. What is B? Generally, what is B? B means 20. 20. But here you are not writing B now to override. Are you writing B here? What you are writing? Self dot B. Using the object, you are creating a variable B and you are giving 20 to it. Understood? So in the next line, if you see self dot A, what is self? Object. Object, yes or no? So object dot A. Object, who is object? Kiran. Kiran will call A. What is A? 10 into Kiran will call B, which means 20. 10 into 20 is nothing but 200. Guys, understood?
Yes, sir.
Sir, here is parameters and variables are compulsion to same.
I am not getting what you said. Can you repeat it
Here,
once again?
we are passing the arguments like A comma B, where
Yeah.
self A comma B.
Yeah.
So when we replace the C comma D any variable,
Yes, you can do. See, that's what I'm saying now. See, you are passing 10 to some variable here. You take here C. You take here C. Okay. Next, I am passing 20. I am passing 20 to the variable. Suppose sir, take here D. Take here D. Okay. Take here D. Now tell me what is C. Now tell me what is C. C means 10. D means what? 20.
20.
Yes or no? 10 you are giving to C, 20 you are giving to D. Okay, fine. So when you are calling it, obviously we'll go inside. Obviously, we will go inside. Inside what we are doing? Inside what we are doing, see, self dot A equal to A. My question is, what is this A? Do you have any value or any variable till now? A?
No.
No. Because here C is there. Yes or no? So if I pass C, my question is, see, if I pass C here, self dot A equal to C. What is self, Kiran? Kiran is creating a object in the class. Kiran is creating an object in the class A. And what he is giving for that object, C. What is C? C is nothing but 10, yes or no?
Yes.
So if you pass D here, pass
20.
D. So 20 you are giving to self dot B. Use a simple self dot B. Object is creating a variable B and he is passing 20. Simple. And here print A into B. 10 into 20 is nothing but 200. This is parameter constructor. Parameter constructor means we are going to pass the parameters. Non-parameter means we are not going to pass anything. Lot of connectivity we can maintain, I will tell you. So connections we can build. Okay. So don't think like a constructor is a time-waste process. It will really save your time.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes.
One question is there. Sir, simply, but in constructor we give one print statement, and the outside the class with the object we have also a print statement. So which will we execute first? With
Where you want to give the print? After this line you want to print?
yeah.
So if I write print here,
Yeah, anything.
I am Amal and I am outside, sir. Okay. So here, suppose
Here
if I write here,
Here is the normal function like that. Yeah.
okay, wait, I will write.
So which will we execute first?
Obviously inside this one. Simple logic. See, class is there, constructor is there. In this line, you are calling this one. Calling means it will go inside, it will execute all the things. First this print, after completing the work in this line, then only it go to the next line. Na? First this print, then next this print.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
See? Guys, understood? See,
Yes.
anything you take, any scripts you take, real-time scripts. I'll show you here. Any scripts you take. Guys, see, exception handling is there or not? First point number one. If you see the advanced Python, Exception handling is there. This is a real-time course. I'm telling you. Nobody will show directly to the outside people. But see, exception handling is there or not here?
Yes.
Exception handling is there. Constructor is there or not, guys? See,
Yes, sir.
constructor is there or not? Without constructor, without class, without exception handling, without functions concept, don't go to the interview. Simple. Because most important points of this are going to ask in the interviews. So in the next class, like on Monday, I will tell you, we'll create the functions. So inside the class, I will create the functions. I will create the constructor. I will show how to maintain the connectivity with a single calling. Everything will be called. Okay. So there is no need of writing again and again and again and again, waste of time. That's why I'm telling you, be very perfect in functions, classes, constructors, inheritance, and exception handling. Enough. You can become a pro. Guys, understood till here? Any doubts?
No, sir.
Next class, we will complete the OOPS concept. Then we will go to the data tools. We'll go to the data tools, NumPy, Pandas, Matplotlib, and SQL. Okay? Clear now, everyone?
So,
Yes,
sir, Python, it's a last topic. Oops.
Python, last topic, yeah. Is there any other topics which did I missed? There are concepts, multi-threading, processor executions, multiprocessing. That is not for analysis people. So analysis people won't use, only the data scientist people. Like there are few data science people here. So for them, I will teach when we discuss artificial intelligence. See? For analysis people, you want to use processors. Processors means like how your CPU is running your Python code. So how much flexibilities that you can keep. I mean, how your RAM is working, how your graphic cards are working. So how much time it is taking to execute the scripts, how to maintain the Docker containers. So all the things will comes to picture. That is for AI people, not for analysis. Okay. You won't use all these things. Okay, guys. Happy weekend. Enjoy a lot with the family. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.